Hello, hello. Pulling up Twitch. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome. We are back for another action-packed day of Davinci Resolve Fusion. Cool. Oh, wait. Camera's not on. Camera's not on. Okay, now camera's on. Camera's on. Okay. What's up? VFX. Gotta make an entrance. Welcome back. Today is day 21. We are going to be going through the Planar Tracker today. Not Photoshop. Planar Tracker. Where is our trusty manual? Here it is. Cool. All right, so here we are. Let's load up Davinci Resolve. Welcome, welcome. Day 21, new project, day 21, Planar Tracker. And here in the edit page, we're gonna add a fusion clip. Do this trick. Don't know if it's necessary still, but it's working. And we gotta open up, and we start with the manual here. This is a short section. It's only 5 pages. So likely we're probably gonna move on, probably get two chapters or more. Well, at least one chapter. One chapter plus. And then also, let me see if... Cool. All right. So let's start. This chapter provides an overview of how to use the Planar Tracker node and how to use it to make match moves simple. For more information about the Planar Tracker node, see Chapter 117, Tracker Nodes. But we're going to read this right now. So, introduction to tracking. So, reintroduce tracking to you guys. Fusion includes 3 different tracking nodes that let you analyze different kinds of motion. Once you have tracked motion on a clip, you can then use the resulting data for stabilization, motion smoothing, matching the motion of one object to that of another, and a host of other essential tasks. Each tracker type has its own chapter in this manual. Yep, and we just finished the regular old tracker chapter, now where this is planar tracking. So the Planar Tracker node is designed to deal with match moving issues on flat, unvarying surfaces that commonly arise during post-production. Examples of flat, unvarying surfaces include clips containing a license plate, a road sign, or a brick wall that often need images merged on top of them, such as replacing the numbers in the license plate changing the city's name in the roadside sign, or placing a billboard poster on the empty brick wall. So I'm already going to get started on searching for some footage to use. The Planar Tracker automates this process by analyzing the perspective distortions of a planar surface on a background plate over time, and then reapplying these same perspective distortions to a different foreground. Simple enough. Tip: part of using the Planar Tracker is also knowing when to give up and fall back to using Fusion's tracker node, or to manually keyframe. Some shots are simply not trackable, or the resulting track suffers from too much jitter or drift. The Planar Tracker is a time-saving node in the artist's toolbox, and while it can track most shots, no tracker is a 100% solution. So knowing when to use which one and when to stop using the one you're trying to get to work if it's not working. Different ways of using the Planar Tracker node. Like the other tracking nodes found in Fusion, the Planar Tracker can both analyze and contain the resulting image tracking data interior to the node. And it can also use that tracking data to transform either another image, paint strokes, or a polygon mask, which I think we've demonstrated all of those different use cases so far in previous episodes. The Planar Tracker provides 4 modes of operation. There's track, which you track an object of high contrast over time. There's steady. Wait, actually, no. I want to read this. Track is used to isolate a planar surface and track its movement over time. Then you can create a planar transform node that uses this data to match move another clip. Yeah, that's the normal track. There's steady. I watched a clip last night, or yesterday, or today, at some point after last stream, and I realized that there was a setting called steady that you need to set, and it will literally steady the clip. Okay, that's a bad example. Maybe we'll do an example later and I'll point it out. Steady. After analyzing a planar surface, this mode removes all motion and distortions from the planar surface, usually in preparation for some kind of paint or roto task prior to unsteadying the clip to add the motion. Yeah, so the example I saw was like a really long shot. The camera was on a tripod, I think, but it was like, the little micro jitters. And by doing a track of like something that's way out, that was kind of like moving a little bit, you're able to set it to steady, and then it really was locked. Like even in the distance, those things were locked in place for you to do your edit or your compositing, adding stuff to it. And then you take that off for the final thing, and it's really those elements are married together very organically looking. There's corner pin. After analyzing a planar surface, this mode computes and applies a matching perspective distortion to a foreground image. You can connect to the foreground input of the Planar Tracker node and merges it on top of the tracked footage. Then there's stabilize. After analyzing a planar surface, allows smoothing of a clip's translation, rotation, and scale over time. Good for getting unwanted vibrations out of a clip while retaining the overall camera motion that was intended. I don't see the difference between what I just said about steady and stabilize. Steady. After analyzing a planar surface, this mode removes all motion and distortions from planar surface. from the planar surface, usually in prep for work, prior to unsteadying the clip to add the motion back. Okay. And then this stabilizes after analyzing a planar surface, allows smoothing of a clip's translation, rotation, and scale over time. Good for getting unwanted vibrations out of a clip while retaining the overall camera motion that was intended. Okay. Those sound very similar, but we'll dig into it in a sec. Setting up to use the Planar Tracker. Yo, what's up, BD? BD Streams, how's it going? I'm doing all right. Finished an ongoing project today. Organizing a bunch of files in Photoshop. So, making progress. How was the event? I know you were partying it up today, I think, if I remember correctly. So setting up the planar tracker, similar to the tracker node, to do a planar track, you need to connect the output of the image you want to track to the background input of the planar tracker node. I'm gonna look for like maybe we could do a stop sign replacement. Billboard. Here we go. For this one. I guess it doesn't need to be a green screen on the thing. Looking at stock footage here. Something like that. Let's get this one. Yeah, you graduated from Photoshop, right? I'm stuck in the Photoshop depths of... I don't want to say it. It's all right. But at least I knew the software in and out. So at least that made me look like I knew what I was doing. Yeah, this was just like organizing files and like straightening things for just a big catalog of stuff. And then like touching up, there was some image that I had to like work on bringing out the colors. It was not color science-y though. It was just like pixelated images that I had to figure out how to bring back. Glad that's done. Gathering event party was really nice. Saw a lot of people. Haven't in a while. That's nice. And for a celebration, that's always a good time. So today we're doing the planar tracker. A little different from the tracker. I don't actually see how. I don't see the difference yet. Let's compare. I think there's some overlap. What's it like? Yeah. I want to know what it's like working with Beyonce. Queen, right? Queen Beyonce. Queen Beyonce. I have no experience working with Beyonce, so I have no idea. I'm just saying that. I'm not. But that's my guess. That's a very like open to interpretation take as well, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yep. Totally respect that. Yeah. Usually those people are all pretty nice to work with. I think. I don't know. I don't know. Again, just making assumptions. Well, actually, no. What did I hear? I heard something that was like a good take was like there's the public persona and then there's the real, like the real person behind the character. Someone was saying that in regards to Elon Musk. Oh yeah. How evolved from top to bottom and really had a clear vision for what she wanted and sat in every edit session, color session, planning session. Extremely dedicated to her craft, and it's nice to see that from an artist of her caliber. Yeah, that's cool. That's what I'd want to do. I'd want to like, if I were in her position, which I'm not, but if I were, I would totally sit in on like watching the masters work. It's probably fun. Yep. Yeah, I can see it. She seems very like I guess that is businessy, I guess. But yeah, cares about the craft, appreciates it, wants to see the process all the way through. Also probably sitting in, there's probably like subtle things that like help her ensure that it comes out the way that she wants. Way she's envisioning. That's cool. She's that makes me that makes me like Beyonce a lot more. Not that I don't like her, but it's just not on my radar, you know. Is it corner pin? I'm over here messing around with the planar tracker, just looking at the buttons, getting familiar with it. Chapter said this is a great tool to know when to not use it. That was like the suggestion. Some people generally don't look like they want to be there. Yeah. Hmm. That's a few takes to that. Yeah. The poker face. But I'm just here because I was told I have to be here. Yeah, that's probably super awkward when that happens. When it's like you still gotta. In those cases, are they just kind of like standing around, just chilling, sitting in the corner? Like, yeah, I wonder how those are supposed to be arranged. Because it is all just like managers at that point that are like, okay, as an artist, you're supposed to be going to the studio, so that's what you're scheduled to do. I imagine Beyonce has a lot more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, she just owns her time, kind of owns the situation. Generally look like they're uninterested. Yeah, yeah. Is that common? Is there like a ratio of times that happens to the times that there's like a Beyonce level of like engagement, fully present kind of. That's the vibe they're giving up. Like I would much rather be top down through Venice than here in this studio. Is Yeah, you think there's like a ratio? Is it like half are uninterested, half are engaged, or is it like rare that there's somebody like a Beyonce who's so hands on, or is it the other way? Like rare that it's somebody who clearly doesn't want to be there. That's a characteristic that I've heard of like yeah, just being a good characteristic. It was like influential people seem to do that. See, the thing is though, ah, I need to do like brain exercises for remembering people's names. Because I feel like that's the thing that prevents me from doing that all the time. It's because like when I introduce myself, or I'll chat with someone, I'll have a great conversation. I'll remember the whole conversation, what we talked about. Like I'll remember them as a person, like forever. But I'll just always forget the name, and then it's always so kind of awkward at that point when I'm like, I remember you. I swear, I remember our whole conversation. Just the name, though, for some reason, has slipped. I need to do those games that like strengthen name memorization. Because I mean, I used to do that when I was living abroad. I used to meet a lot of people at events and stuff, and like get to know what everyone was up to. But like I'm saying, I would always forget everybody's name. I'd remember the conversations, always lose the names. Okay, so it looks like there's a set for corner pin. Corner pin. Huh? Trying to make sense of this. Where's the tracking? Let's see, if we start maybe with just regular old track and we just do one location here. I set it. Tracker point, we're gonna do perspective. All right, let's give it a go. Track failed. To fix this problem, set planar tracker 1.operation to track. Make sure you are on the reference frame and draw a polygon around the region you wish to track. That was a long day. But it's probably energizing working with like high capacity, high frequency celebrities. I mean, that's also draining. Depends which way you look at it, I guess. It can be high. Yeah. Depends which way. Oh. Ooh. Can you name drop or is that under? Is that a no? There we go. Red, the signature, the legendary red. Yeah. You don't know about me calling it legendary? I think it can work like this. Not that. Not that. Yeah. Well, they're super expensive too, right? I mean, they're like... My impression is that, like, getting a red is, like, very, I don't know. You have to know what you're doing in order to upgrade to a camera like that. Why is that my impression? I don't know. I must have seen a video. You have to know, like, how to do all the settings before you get a camera like that. Very... That is the opposite? What, it's easy? A red is like straightforward point and shoot? People that use reds don't quite know. Yeah, no, that's actually That's kind of the impression that I had. That a lot of the time, fresh out of. That's funny, actually. I had a friend who, fresh out of film school, he bought a red, and like I could kind of see that like I didn't. I mean, I don't. I couldn't tell. I could just tell that it was like something was not quite right. It wasn't like dialed in their settings. I think it was like they probably weren't applying. They probably didn't know how to apply like the lookup tables and convert it properly and do the settings. But yeah, that's was kind of that was the impression I got. Modify with this thing, this part. We we have to put this in here, or we can connect it here. I'll put yeah, I'm not really interested in a red. I mean, like I was saying, the camera I had my eye on was the Blackmagic 6K. That would probably be the big one, the big upgrade for me at this point, at this level, you know? The designers, engineers knew exactly how they could tackle the market. Marketing had other plans. Yeah, I'm cautious at those trade show demonstrations though. Like, I don't know. I feel like sleight of hand could happen while you're there, where it's like if I'm trained to like present an item, I could probably present it like very nicely. I guess that's marketing, but just as far as like, what am I saying? Like if I had a camera, you just like open and close it just right, so that it like does the pop. My printer here, I got a new printer, and it's an okay printer, but it's actually mostly plastic. It's like all plastic parts. And I can make it look pretty nice, but really, if I was trying, I could make this thing look clunky as heck as well. All I'm saying is like, yeah, cautious of the trade show hype. They're not marketing this camera correctly at all, but it's a huge game changer for shooting VFX plates or car plates. Can you explain why? Why would it be? What would make the camera a game changer for shooting plates? I saw DJI when they came out with their recent camera, how they were able to have a new development on like pulling the focus, and they had like a visualization. So I see that, but I'm wondering how it's like, what would make it? Is it similar where it's like maybe doing like cloud processing or Z depth cloud computing or something? First large format camera with a global shutter. I gotta look these things up. Global shutter is one that captures all the pixels simultaneously. No, oh, so full frame, right? Like the Sonys are full frame while shooting in 8K. At 120 FPS? Jeez. Sheesh. I feel like that's enough. They got there. Cameras have gotten there. Where do they go from here? $8K 120 FPS. Full frame. Where do you go from there? You're there. We've arrived. I guess, like, yeah, I don't know. That's it. That's all you need. You don't need. Cameras have arrived. So let's see. How do we use this tracker? How come I'm struggling here to set this up, though? Create planar transform. Maybe I need to click this. Let's see. This says, number one, make sure the operation mode is set to track. It is. And then as you need to analyze an image to track a surface before you do anything else. Okay. And then we also drew a polygon around it. And then we got, with the background input of the planar tracker connected to the image, to an image, the planar tracker open in the viewer, move the playhead to a frame of the video where the planar tracker you want to track is at its largest, is unoccluded, and is clearly a plane. Okay, check, check, check. And then click the set button in the track panel of the inspector to make this the reference frame that will be used to guide the track. And then next, you'll need to identify the specific pattern within the image that you want to track. Okay, we're tracking these huge dots here that are perfectly on a green screen. Venice 2 is what people are using to shoot a lot of plates right now, but it can't do 120. And is it also not a global shutter? Venice 2 global shutter. It's a rolling shutter. Less than 3 milliseconds for a full frame. But yeah, so that just means that you can't really like make movements, right? If it's a rolling shutter, that's you're gonna get like banding, distortion. Depends. I mean, 3 milliseconds is probably fast, right? So you can probably pan. But that's the whole thing, right? There's not really a difference for 80% of things, but VFX plates is one. Ah. Oh, I see. Not totally. I don't totally see. Because, like, you're saying VFX plates? Is there a difference between VFX plates? Like, if you're filming, for filming a film, would you have multiple cameras, especially if you're building car capture rigs, right? Because that's when I could see the rolling shutter could really cause some issues with like tearing or like distortion of the frame. Yeah, this is a I feel like a basic question, but it's like, would you break out like a Venice 2 only for certain scenes? Usually when selecting the camera for a film, like the camera is selected and then the lenses are the thing that can sort of like differ. I might that's This is a question. I'm not sure about that. Trying to clear it up. But like, so if they were going to go with Venice, the Venice 2, they would be using it pretty much throughout the whole film. It's up to the director of photography what they prefer and they need. Yeah. Oh, and then it's up to you to match the colors, right? If they use different cameras. Yeah. And then you got to figure out how to marry the footage so that they're actually no, that's somebody before you, isn't it? Somebody goes through, preps it, and then you master it for for the certain format, for the vision format. There's so much. There's so much to learn. Oh, you don't tend to oh. But more or less, that's kind of like the pipeline. I gotta wait. This is a silly one. I actually read I read a book recently about it's called about producing, but I had to Google just now what AC was first AC. The first camera, the assistant camera. Similar to film prep. I see. Yeah. It's like handing off the right lenses, doing prep for getting the camera into position. Making assumptions. I'm not so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. For the director of photography? Yeah. Build the rigs. Oh, sweet. Sweet. I was just looking at, I mean, I feel silly saying this, but I was just looking at like building out like a little rig, you know, like my first rig, where I was looking at getting some, like a rail set, so I could put a camera overhead and slide it and maybe do some angles. Man, that's awesome. So you're whew, quickly adapt the rigs and to different setups. How like high stakes or like how much of a pressure situation is it when it's like you gotta go adjust a rig. Like, how much pressure? How much pressure do you get from that? I'm just wondering if, like, when you make an adjustment, if, like, you feel like your life is like, oh, I gotta go, like, adjust this, and I'm gonna need to, like, pull out this and connect it for it to properly set up. But the main DP I AC4, this is camera, is named Scott Cunningham, and she really trusts my opinion on camera choices and lenses. Oh yeah, because that is what I do in the multi-camera cinema capture world. Okay, yeah, that is awesome. Director of photography. Yeah. The look. Wait, this is wrong. I'm looking at the wrong guy. Cool. These stills. I'm looking at his Instagram right now. It's so cool. That's so dope to, like, get these stills. I'm hoping to make some stills pretty soon. After I figure out how to do this stupid, this base, not stupid, but basic planar tracking. That's not stupid. This is pretty cool. I should say that. It's only a little frustrating at the beginning when we struggle through these beginner fundamentals. But hey, after that. Oh, yeah, I feel like those are always, like, they get a lot of exposure. I feel like I must have seen that one. Those always feel so well, no, that's cool. That's cool. It's like setting up a whole rig and, like, a whole shoot with just an iPhone. Really shows what's possible. Did you shoot it with? You did. Was that the one that was shot with on? It was with the ProRes, right? It was a music video. Oh, for Ruined by Usher and Fields. Okay. Because I saw something that was, like, recording with, I think it's ProRes, right? Or it's like the log format. ProRes? It's just like an enormous file size. You have to be filming to an external for it to be able to record, like, up to just a couple minutes. But it's possible now. Yeah, the iPhones. Recording with iPhone, they're using some of their AI algorithm magic to, like, marry the cameras together, right? It's not just going through one lens. It's like the three kind of are combined for that super high res version. Oh, it is? Okay. Makes sense. You're right. So like if you zoom. Okay, I thought it was actually like a they did some magic to like combine the three. Oh, for spatial video? Okay. And then like if you zoom in, it switches between. The Vision headset. That's I'm excited for that. Excited for the VR. Although I feel like it's gonna be I might get the Quest, but I think my feeling is that the next generation is gonna be the one that like literally everyone goes bonkers for. But who knows? There might be some game that comes out during this generation. But like 4K for the Apple headset seems uh, out of reach for most people. Kind of like proof of concept. I was part of a project for Apple with Alicia Keys that released on Vision at launch. Ooh, sheesh, man, you've done everything. So the Vision, man, yeah, I see little bits and pieces trickling out from like how people are using it, some of the cool things. She walks in into your space and performs. Yeah, it's next generation, next level stuff. I cannot wait. I can't wait. I mean, I'm probably gonna purchase, like I'm saying, probably gonna get the MetaQuest. Seems like to take a peek, and then I want to start making stuff for uh like 3D scenes and whatnot in Unreal Engine. And by the time next generation comes, I'm gonna be there, like ready to put up some content and sets. If you ever get a chance to go to the Apple Store, you could book a free Vision demo. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I am going to do that. I'm look. I mean, it sounds silly. The thing that I want to do, that I know is possible now, and it's supported on both platforms, is just have multiple monitors and work on my computer in VR. Like, I just want a bunch of monitors. In fact, I want a dome of monitors, right? I don't think that's supported yet, but the three monitor setup is. I know that's a program that just works right now pretty well. Straightforward. It's a simple thing, but that's what I want to do. The 20-minute Vision demo? Yeah. Yep, I gotta find time to do that. Gotta find a time to do that. That might be good for a video idea for my YouTube. Starting to get some follows, some views, some likes on these videos going through this. I feel like booking a demo, recording it. Although that's kind of hard to that's hard to capture. Be hard to for me to capture. That's a whole thing. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do that. That's why I want to get at least a Quest. Is just so I can start thinking about how to capture content. and share that. Yeah, I haven't seen like 3D. I haven't seen video. I have not seen videos that demonstrate like content coming from VR headsets. Just haven't seen much of it. It's out there. Like I saw recently, one guy was like had the vision in 3D space, and they were like opening it and like playing around. That is really cool. Like doing Fusion 360 in VR. That's what it looked like the guy was doing. I got sent one at launch, and she hates it. Aw. Is she getting like motion sickness? Is she just why? Oh, here we go. Other than her phone and Nintendo Switch? Hmm. I'm trying to interpret that. Trying to interpret that. Because the phone, I get the phone, but then Nintendo Switch. So that's a gaming device. So is it the games? That's kind of my thinking, is there still is no breakout games for VR. An avid, can she play Animal Crossing in VR? Do they have a port? Do they have music making? Do they support? Can you make music in VR yet? I don't know what that means. The game I played Beat Saber, and that was awesome. It's so simple, but it's so much fun. By Moog, oh, cool. So Moog has a Moog. Oh, I think I remember seeing something about that. Moog Galaxy. A virtual synth. Vision. Oh, sweet. Yeah, man. This is awesome. It's so next generation. I'm saying I don't think it's like we haven't arrived yet. I heard somewhere that it was like this is the start of of VR though. Spatial video of our baby and being able to really, oh wow, yeah. Yeah, that's something I haven't experienced yet. Yeah, next generation. But like with this Animoog, I totally can see like working in an Ableton session, you could like click into the synth and it like loads up like this, and it's just a new way to experience and like play around with synthesizers, and then you like zoom out and then you go back to the session view. That's awesome. I mean, what's the other thing? I saw some stuff like, yeah, it's just so it's like the starting point. And Apple, like how they had the example I saw was like the Marquis Brownlee, his video was like touching the keyboard, and you had to type on it one at a time. It's like so obvious that it's gonna turn into like being able to nicely touch type in space, but like to do that, that's gonna take a team of wizards at Apple to figure out how to properly get that working. You know? But that's where there's a bunch of those, a bunch of these things that I was like, ooh, see where that's headed. Connect my Bluetooth Mac keyboard to it. It works really well. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. Oh, and then the other thing. Oh, I heard that the weird thing was that you had to like, or you could look at what you wanted to click on. Like the mouse is your eyes. What's that experience like? Is that an option, or is that kind of just how it works? You're used to it after a while and it starts becoming muscle memory? Yeah. I know that's like a developmental thing I'm curious about. Because that is like it's a subtle change, but I wonder what effect. That's probably just gonna be make people like more specific with their eyesight, more deliberate. Oh, lower this playback. And I think this is 4K. Yeah, so I could. I'm gonna delete my cache. It's probably been a while. Yeah, it's so exciting for this next generation. I was talking, it was like on the first day that I was streaming, I was chatting with some people about like it seemed like the headsets likely turn into sunglasses or something, or like thin lenses. But then like right after I said that, somebody sent the thing of like, what is it? The Dyson headphones with face mask, and it made me think of like turning the whole thing into a helmet. I don't know. I think probably it's going to be get thinner and thinner, and it'll turn into just like sunglasses, or not even lenses, goggles, goggles that look cool. Heading out. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a great day, great dinner with your fiance. Have a good one, man. So the tip here says, do not confuse the pattern you're identifying with the region you're planning to corner pin. So after reading that, it kind of brought me up to here. Brought me to corner pin. And since we had connected the media before, popped right up. And again, this is like the right thing to do when it's basically when you're trying to replace billboards or stop signs, or not just stop signs. Let's see if I can find some road sign to replace. Let's see, some road signs. I want to get some road signs with some like forward movement, like where the car or the camera's moving forward. Some aerial footage maybe. But actually, I just realized it's time for the 5-minute break. So I will be right back. Yeah, BRB. BRB. Okay, so we're trying to get some footage here so we can do a sign replacement. The common thing. I want to get a sign where the camera's moving. All of these camera movements in the stock footage is of like a steady cam that's either panning or there's no zooms or moving. Here, this is what I'm looking for over here. Hands. And just it's got some movement to it. All right. Let's get something. Okay, maybe we could replace something like that. Or this sign. Ooh, parallax. I love this shot. The dolly zoom. The pull back zoom. This is like my favorite shot. Favorite in-camera special effect. I don't know if this is considered a special effect or not. Moving backwards, you zoom in, and you get this background that looks like it's approaching while we're moving away from this. It's such a cool effect. Let's see if we can get a sound effect. Actually, I can put this on. I'm looking for like a zoom sound, like a you know, adding in some audio. A little eerie. Oh, if only this one went a little longer. No, I don't want it to be eerie. I just want it to be like kind of a, you know. I think that works. Okay. So how do we even get this audio clip in? Let's see. If I go, this brings us to another thing that we have to kind of consider. If we make another media out, node, media out. So it's media out 2. Does that appear here? Where does that go? If we have the same fusion comp, it's not the same. We've got this fusion comp here, so maybe we could just make another fusion comp, I guess. Fusion comp. Put it here. Make sure that it saves. I guess I'll give it a name. Fusion comp. What is it? Dolly zoom? I think that's the term. There we go. Inside here, we got our zoom. Again, it's 4K, so let's do a resize. Now we got 1080p here. And then if we are on the edit timeline, we'll have our, and we just got to make sure that, geez, that's pretty intense. We're gonna make sure that it's going to media out so that it will display on our edit timeline here. In the playback, we want to make sure that this is user is the one that we're looking for here. Now it preloads. God, that is so intense. Maybe we should turn this down. That's too much. Okay. Yeah. I hope that's coming through. Is that like a, yeah, okay. It's ridiculous. You know, when it just like syncs up, when it's like when the pieces come together just right, it can hit so hard. And it's just literally, I mean, all I've done here is found a sound clip to go with the footage. Let's just get this one too. This is like another angle. Oh, I have a great idea. Oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be fantastic. I think I imported the wrong one. Here we go. Oh, it's still downloading. Here we go. Aerial drone. Here we go. Okay, and then so what are we gonna do with this footage? I feel like we gotta put some stuff on here. We gotta use our training. So we're gonna do a planar tracker. Planar tracker. We're gonna track Planar Tracker, right? Okay, so we've got track. What are we going to do? We're going to track and set it. Oh, go to 0, set the track for here. Set, go. No, I feel like I want to do corner pin. Corner pin. Remember your training. Hey, Emma Key? Emma Chi? Thanks for stopping in. Welcome back. Emma Chi, right? Or is that Emma Key? How do you pronounce that? Stopping in from on the YouTube side. Thanks for tuning in. I'm doing some planar tracking today. Okay, so this was similar with before. I had corner pin, track. I think it's track. I want to do track. Oh, and then I set the type here, perspective. But I've only set 1 point. But I guess, oh, that's right. I'm supposed to draw in the planar tracker. I'm supposed to draw the plane. And then it's good to go. After you set the settings, I guess it's a perspective motion type. I don't know. This is a unique visual. Then we let it go. That looks right. That looks good. Cool. And then we can bring in our footage that we want to place onto the thing. Our footage that we want to place onto the thing. So we're gonna go, I think I have it on my desktop. I need to move this to the aptitude folder. This and this. Hawkcat. We gotta get Hawkcat in there. Can't be used because OBS is using it right now. I gotta pause it. It's just on loop in OBS. Oh, but now we lost it in OBS. I gotta find it. An aptitude. Put these in the video elements. Uh-oh. Okay, so here we grab the Hawkcat. Oh wait, no, so now we got it reloaded on OBS. Nice. But we want it in our footage here. So inside of aptitude, go here. Video elements, here's our Hawkcat. Okay. The Hawkcat is in. All we have to do, we just plug it straight in like that. We change this operation mode now to corner pin. And voila. Movie magic in the making. Perfectly placed. It's almost like it's real. It's like this is basically just like somebody filmed a raw footage. That's how perfectly this is combined here. I think we want to rotate this. That's a thing to look into. Let's see if we add a transform. I don't think it's gonna actually quite work the way. Oh. So there's some weird aspect ratio things going on. That's interesting because this media type is this is a weird sized footage here, like 300 by 500 pretty much. So what do? I think what we do is we make a background node. We plug the background node into the transform the source. Do that, and then we do this. Nope. We do this. Yep. Oh. Nope. There we go. So we married those footages together. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. So there. And we can okay, so we got our Hulk cat. What else? We need some more. We need more. We need more memes. We need to plaster these signs with memes. What if we add a text? Let's add some text. You know what? Let's just put I think we can just do more planar trackers, right? No, we have to make another one. So we do planar tracker. Disconnect that. Like that. Send this to over here. Load this up here. And does a planar track, does it need to be 4 points? I think not. I think that's it. And then we let it go. Not yet. Set this properly. Set it. Oh. Wow. Gotta remember to set it up right on the right frame. Oh. Okay. So we're setting it at 0 frame. Set to track. Hybrid point. Looks good. Let it rip. Works its magic. Voila. Now we can, let's recreate this sign. Let's put let's cover it with a color first. I think what we can do, we just sample this color here and then plug this in. And then now we can change this to corner pin. Corner pin. Doesn't, it's not really working the way. Is that the wrong one? If we're gonna do corner pin. I mean, this is interesting because it's not a square. Do we just need to add another element? Do we have to add like a little triangle to the edge here? Or can we like add a point and pull out from there? Corner pin. Let's see. What if I add, there is a triangle node. Not quite though. What if it's like... We got this element, and we want to add a triangle. How can we do that? Motion graphics. Go. Now we have... Do I add a crop or something? What do I do here? Maybe 2560. I'm doing something. And then we could transform and move this over. There's probably a way easier way to do this, but hey, we're exploring. Okay. Okay. Size, let's go back to 1. Okay, if we plug this in. I mean, sort of. Kind of works, doesn't it? Sort of. Not really. Nah, there's definitely a better... Oh, this is one of those times. Isn't it? This is one of those times when it's like, don't use the planar tracker. Is it? Okay, what would I use? If I were using the tracker... Because what? I need to be able to place something that's not a square, a rectangle, onto this sign, where this sign is. And this is too silly to be trying to, like, modify this by eye. Because the aspect ratio gets all funky just at a simple depth of this. So let's try tracker node. Trying to figure out the differences here. I think it's this, right? This is what I was going for. So again, there's corner positioning, there's perspective positioning. If I do, let's try corner positioning. That's the same thing as before, isn't it? Let's try perspective positioning. Put it here. Tracker 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, before we get into that, let's just get some trackers. let's try and let's get 5 trackers, okay? Then see where we're at. We'll get 5 track points. 1 planar tracker. But this is a plane. We're trying to track a plane. All right, whatever. Let's get 1, 2, 3. This is probably, we'll probably get to the, we'll figure it out. We'll get there. Yeah, 1 more. Like that here. Okay, so we got 5 track points. And whatever, they look pretty high contrast. They should be good to go. So let's let it go. Did that work? What is going on with tracker with this one? Oh. Wait, let's go back. Back to the first frame. Bruh. Did I? Ugh. Ugh. Oh. And this one. And this one. And then we're gonna do best. Now we let it go again. And these are way too big. We don't need that much. We don't need it searching that far and wide. A little too much. Okay, so there we go. Okay, cool. So then we go, let it rip. Did we lose some drag points? We did. We lost them again. Huh. Okay, there are things I could do here, but I'm thinking about the planar tracker again. Planar tracker. Connect it here. Throw it up, right? I mean, I feel like this is the track. It's a plane. We're tracking a flat surface. Hybrid, perspective. Let it go. Because I forgot to set the... Oh. I don't think it has to be this exact either, but that should work. Set it. Now we go. Yeah, that's like a perfect track that did exactly the thing. So I just have to figure out how to connect. So we have the tracking data here, right? Is each one of these like a like, do I have like tons of points? But let's see. Forget all this. I want to draw this. Simply draw the thing over the surface like that. We have a polygon here. This is our polygon. We're going to connect this to a background node. We'll yoink it from here. Actually, I'm going to delete this stuff. Pretty sure that's a dead end going that way. And that. Okay, so we connect this to here. And let's get rid of this one. Okay, so we got this here. connect that to that. And that to that. And what do we got? Huh. Okay, is it one of those scenarios where it's like we got the tracking data, so we could just kind of bypass that stuff and go straight out, and the background can just like connect in as a merge. We don't need this. I mean, we don't even need these anymore. And that in the background's displaying. I don't think so. I don't think this is gonna work. Do I need to transform here? And then we're gonna do position, XY, zoom. We do modify with or connect to this tracker, right? This is the tracker. Name is Planar Tracker 3. Connect to. No, it's not even showing up. What if it's like connect here in this way? Blam. And connect that. No. Nope. So let's see. After we've gotten that, we could change the operation mode to corner pin. Not corner pin. It's not steady. It's not stabilize. Huh. All right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Tip, do not confuse the pattern you're identifying with the region you're planning to corner pin. Right. I was keeping that sort of clear. I guess I'm getting hung up on the, does it have to be a rectangle that we're putting in? Or can it be, you know, a rectangle plus a triangle at the edge? Can we get, like, does it have to be rectangular? A little confused about how to connect that. So optional, if moving objects partially cover up or occlude, you may wish to connect a mask that surrounds and identifies these occlusions to the white occlusion mask input of the planar tracker. This lets the planar tracker ignore details that will cause problems. When using the hybrid tracker, providing a mask to deal with occluded objects is nearly mandatory. Providing a mask to deal with occluding objects is nearly mandatory, while with the point tracker, it is recommended to try tracking without a mask. And then, if necessary, move the playhead back to the reference frame, which in this case was the first frame, then click the track to end button and wait for the track to complete. As the clip tracks, you can see tracker markers and trails, which we got. We saw those. That let you see how much detail is contributing to the track and the direction of the motion that's being analyzed. Once the track is complete, play through the clip to visually inspect the track so you can evaluate how accurate it is. Does it stick to the surface? Switching to steady mode can help here, as scrubbing through the clip in steady mode will help you immediately see unwanted motion in the track. So we're pretty certain we got good motion. Yeah, we're past this. Oh, the button. We missed it's this button, isn't it? Since we're doing a match move, click the Create Planar Transform button to export a planar transform node that will automatically transform either images or masks to follow the analyzed motion of the plane you tracked. We forgot to press the button. That's what it is. In this case, the planar transform node will be inserted after a pair of background and paint nodes that are being used to put some irritatingly trendy tech jargon graffiti on the wall. All right, Blackmagic. The planar transform will will automatically transform the paint node's output connected to the background input to match the movement. That's what I was missing this whole time. Paint. That's what I was missing. Just forgot I didn't press the button yet. The one single button that was left to be pressed. At least now we got now we're familiar with all the settings, except for the last one that was the one that was needed to do the thing. So I clicked the button. Now what? Now what? Maybe this doesn't need to be a merge. Huh? I pressed the button. The secret forbidden button. Huh? While we're here, what is this? Trim to start, deletes tracking data before the current time. Oh. Oh, that's how you kind of can retrack. If you get a good starting point, you can track from that point on, or delete from that point on, like this. Deletes all tracking data, trim to end. Deletes tracking data after the current time. Shows splines in the spline editor. Okay. So I pressed the button, and then the button didn't do anything. Planar transform. Create planar transform. What am I doing wrong? Since we're doing a match move, click the Create button to export a planar transform node that will automatically transform either images or masks to follow the analyzed motion of the plane you tracked. Why? Huh? Okay. All right. Let's try that one more time. Planar Tracker. Here we go. We're setting it on frame 0. Hybrid point. We're going to draw this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Great. That's literally all we got to do. All right, let it rip. Perfect track. Great planar tracker. Transform. Go. Do the thing. What? Do I need to make one? Okay. So in this case, the planar transform node will be inserted after a pair of background and paint. So after, okay. So I mean, can I connect this and it will work, please? Nah. I don't think so. That works, doesn't it? What? I'll do that and then I do a merge here? Do a merge. Put that in. What the heck? What is going on? All right, let's keep this rolling. We're close. We're getting there. The result is a seamless match move of fake graffiti married to the wall of the original clip. If you want to composite semi-transparent paint strokes on the wall, or use apply modes with paint stroke, you can attach a paint node to the background node set to 100% transparency. The resulting image will be whatever paint strokes you make against transparency and is easy to composite. Tips for choosing good planes to track. The region to track is specified by drawing a polygon on the reference frame. Make sure the region selected belongs to a physically planar surface in the shot. Sometimes a region that is only approximately planar can be used. In general, the less planar the surface, the poorer the quality of the resulting track. As a rule of thumb, the more pixels in the pattern, the better the quality of the track. In particular, this means on the reference frame, the pattern to be tracked should be as large as possible. Be as unoccluded as possible by any moving foreground objects. Be at its maximum size. When tracking an approaching road sign, it is good to pick a later frame where it is 400 by 200 pixels rather than 80 by 40. And then be relatively undistorted. When the camera orbits around a flat stop sign, it is better to pick a frame where the sign is face on parallel to the camera rather than a frame where it is at a highly oblique angle. If the pattern contains too few pixels or not enough trackable features, this can cause problems with the resulting track, such as jitter, wobble, slippage. All right. Okay. Well, we have to figure out how to just get this thing placed onto our footage. But after kind of fumbling around, let's take a break. It's gonna be a 5-minute break. I will BRB, and we can come back. We're gonna figure out how to not only do that, but do this one too. So BRB. Yo, yo. When in doubt, look for a Casey Ferris video. Let's see. Planar Tracker, Davinci Resolve. Dead simple guide to.
I've done a few videos on the planar tracker, but for some reason I had a fusion. Because if I were to put some clouds up here in the a bunch of points in whatever area we want, if I were to put anything here in this, kind of where we want whatever element we're going to go here, palette, and I'll type PLA. That'll bring up our planar tracker. I'll hit enter. And now we have a planar tracker node attached after our media in. So our media in is running through this planar tracker. If I select this, then I have all these different options here in the inspector. We'll get to those in a second, but first what I want to do is select a part of the image that is going to move the exact same way as the area of the image that I want to kind of stick things to. Now, we're going to have this text up in the sky, but I don't want to select the sky because there's nothing really to track in the sky. It's kind of just this blue. If we had a bunch of clouds, we might be able to track those, but you know, the problem is we don't have clouds. So oftentimes for a sky replacement, you can select and track the farthest objects from the camera, the ones that are closest to the horizon. So that's going to be these mountains right here. And with the planar tracker selected, I'm just going to click and drag and make a shape just on the top edge of these mountains here. Something like this. And I want to make sure that whatever I select, those all move kind of all together, right? So there isn't a lot of difference over time on how those move. It might even be a good idea to just select this little part right here, because this mountain does move a little bit different. There's a little bit of parallax there, and this is the area that I want to track. It's also a good idea to make this selection on a frame that is similar to the rest of the shot. This one isn't going to matter a whole lot, but it's generally a good idea if you have a, left to right motion to just kind of start in the middle of the shot, something like that. So again, I'll reset this and just select the upper part of my mountains right here. Now, I'm not selecting the lower part because there is some parallax happening there. We have these kind of foreground elements moving, and I don't want that to throw off the track. I just want to select this top ridge here. In fact, I'll even exclude a little bit more of this just to make sure that we're just getting the motion that's actually happening and not getting thrown off by any of the parallax. Okay, something like that. And this is going to be our reference frame. Over here in the inspector, where it says reference time, I'll hit set. Operation mode will hit track. And here's where things get like, oh gosh, what do we do? What do we do with all this stuff? Well, generally you can leave this pretty much as default for most things. Tracker will leave at point. The one thing that I will change is this motion type. By default, it's on perspective, which is going to give you the most complicated track. And we often don't need a really complicated track for things. Perspective is great if it's something where you're tracking the side of a building and it's kind of moving in parallax, or if you're doing a corner pin where you're replacing a screen, something like that. But something like this that's just kind of moving up and down and left and right, maybe rotating a little bit, we don't have to use a perspective track. We can go to the motion type and just click one of these upper ones. So probably translation and rotation would work just fine. You generally want to pick as close to the top as you can because it's less work to track, and you're going to get a better result if something's just moving up and down to just track it up and down, right? So let's just say translation rotation, everything else is just fine. And now I'm going to select track to end. What that's going to do is it's going to think about all of the frames from that first reference frame all the way to the end, and it's going to track the motion in a bunch of different points within this area. I'm going to do the same thing for the first half of the shot. I can go back to my first frame. I can also just hit go here on reference time, and then I'll track to the start of the shot like this. And now throughout the entire shot, we have tracker points. It was really easy to set up, and this shape is stuck to that mountain. So now what do we do with it? Well, there are a few ways to use this planar tracker, but for something like this, and honestly, I think one of the most versatile and easy ways to use the planar tracker is to create a planar transform. Now, a planar transform is just a separate node that takes the movement from this track and it saves it out into another node that you can use to move other things. So with our planar tracker selected, I'll go here to where it says create planar transform and click it once, and that will make a planar transform node. Now, anything that we run through this node is going
Planar transform. Did I not do that? Okay, let's try that again. Let's try. Okay, so one of these, this one. This is our track. Zoom out just to make sure nothing's hiding. Press it and nothing happens, right? What? What? Do I need to press go? Huh? Was this it? Oh, 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 ah, oh. I found it. It's been hiding all this time. So that's kind of, this is ridiculous. That, I feel like that should be the, this is the screenshot for today's episode. That's kind of dumb. I mean, okay. We press it and it appears over here for some reason. So we just plug that in, plug that in. Oh. Plug it in like this. Plug it in like that. And this is gonna work, isn't it? No! No, this doesn't, this is not a merge. The like this? Doesn't seem right. Oh, we're getting something's happening though. We're getting some type of movement. Is it because this is set to track instead of corner pin? Transform. We're making progress here though. This is the right direction. Okay, let's just
Going to basically stick to this mountain. It's going to have the same movement as this tracker does. So with our text, the clouds that go here, they're all slipping around. It looks terrible. If we run our text through this planar transform, I can just drop this on here, drop the output onto our merge like this, put this in between the text and
we put our polygon and background through the planar transform. There's no transform here. This plugs into here. That's it. That's it. Right? And then I feel like we need to. Then what? We merge this together like this? So we merge. Yes. Ah. Why was that so difficult? Why was that so hard? Oh, I got tripped up with the planar transform. Planar tracker. You create a planar transform and you apply that planar transform to the thing that you're bringing into the scene that's tracked on. Ah, all right. Okie dokie. Too high intensity, man. That was the wrong sound. Wrong sound. We need something more low-key. All right, sweet. So we did it though. We're there. We got the planar transform working right. our Hellcat. So that's what we want. That's what we want to do. That's the thing, right? Here is Hellcat, right? Over here. So that planar transform is going to be, that's the technique. I mean, that's just how to use this, right? Let's try another planar tracker. We can set this up quick and easy. One, bam, 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 bam. And then we set this to, let's do the trick where he was saying like you probably want to start, we don't have to, but I don't want to get in the habit of just starting at frame 0 for the sake of why not, like, because I didn't think about this. Tracker type, point would work, translation or perspective. I do think this is a perspective though. I don't know. Translation, what if we try translation? And then we go back to here and we try to go translation the dataways. We do have a, no, I don't think that's going to be it, right? That's not the right one. I don't know. Let's test it. Create a planar transform. Apply this to here. This to another merge here. And we can planar, we've got the planar transform, but we actually do want to add another transform. Or can we use this merge? We could use the merge. We can. And since we only use translation, it's going to be, I think we want perspective. Let's try it again. So we can delete the, let's reset it up here. Okay, and then we've got, delete that, planar tracker. We start, same frame, we're gonna start 60 in the middle. Just to get that muscle memory of tracking back and forth. And then perspective. It's perspective. Yeah, it is. Hybrid, go forward, go backwards, create a planar transform, move it into place, connect our thing. Let's see, actually, I want to test this. We just plug this straight in. And we plug this into here. And this into here. I think that was the wrong way. Control T to swap those. Yep. Not quite, right? Planar transform. Not quite. Let's see. I think maybe I need to do it this way. Swap those. Plug it in. Huh. Okay. Let's move that away. Oh, I know why. Because this is not set to the right. No, it is. Oh, this needs to be set to track. Okay, forget that one. We've got this one. Set to track. Does it need to be set to corner pin? I mean, it could be. It could be. It could be, right? So let's do that. Corner pin. Then we don't have to do this. We can plug it in that way. Except we're back to having the same issue as before, where it's like kind of distorting the... when we have to mess around with the aspect ratio. That kind of works. Well, not kind of. That does work. And so let's see if we have this kind of in place. Can we build up? Can we add like a text in here? Combine a text. Merge. Plug this in. Now I can't get the music to go away. I don't want the music anymore. It's too much. It's too intense. Can I... There we go. Okay, cool. We've got our text in place, but is that the right... Well, if we were going to do this, really, you wouldn't do the edit. You wouldn't make this text... You wouldn't make it inside of Davinci Resolve. You'd make it kind of an Illustrator, export it as an image, a PNG, and attach it that way. Is that right? How would you do that? We had... Huh. What's the opposite of huh? That's a question for Google. What's the opposite of huh? Huh? Oh, I think oh. Aha. Oh, let's do aha. Okay, so let's put aha on this one. We'll go through that motion one more time. Planar Tracker. Planar Tracker. Draw in the plane. Set it as track. Dang it. All right, let's just do it at frame 0. It's going to be as perspective and hybrid. Output. Okay, so let it rip. Okie dokie, and then we could add a we add a polygon, and this one does have to be kind of like properly drawn. Here we go. Maybe a little bit of soft edge. And it doesn't need to be connected like that. But we'll make a background. We'll connect it there. Sample this. And so with this, we want to create a planar transform. Plug our element into the planar transform. Merge it with the footage. Lower the soft edge. Clean this up. Move this back. The planar transforms, I don't think have to be like after it's been. Yeah, and so why is it slightly out of position though? And it's a little small. Why? What if I let's disconnect this. So on frame 0, I'll draw another polygon around this. Okay. Connect this polygon to our background. Planar transform. Okay, now it's in place. Yeah, man. Cool. And then we can make a kind of a composite here, right? Combine our background element with a text. Merge the two. Text is aha. Now put it into place. Cleaning this up. We got aha. Aha. Same deal. I don't think we need this Well, this is plugged into the planar tracker. Because this one is a little different. It's set at corner pin. I don't think we want corner pin. We want track mode. Then from track mode, we set it to planar transform. We can plug this into planar transform. Get rid of this off of the thing. Combine it as a merge. Never gets old. And then we can adjust this. Yeah, right? Track perspective. Yeah, this is what I want. Put this into place. Oops. Got a little handle here to rotate. Size of this thing can be perfect. Good stuff. High quality. Oops. let's see, how are we doing on time? Still got half an hour. Do we want to take a peek at the next section? Should I build this scene out a little bit? Play around with some nodes? Polygon. What am I thinking? I want to see if I can make an outline. How would I do that? Simple outline. I mean, is there an outline? No, that's spline outline. Border. Edge. No. Would I just make should I duplicate this? That's one way to do it. Duplicate it, merge. Like this? Make this color black. And make this just a tiny bit larger. And switch. Yeah, make this a little bit larger, right? Just a tiny bit. Is there any way to like set the scaling position? Where to start scaling from? This ain't quite it. No. There's probably a different way to get the edges on here. Just how to make a simple border. Border. Open effects. Let's see. I mean, maybe that's too motion graphics-y. Maybe I should be kind of looking at special effects. Zoom blurs, box blurs. Just making stuff look sweet, right? If we add a glow. Aperture diffraction, what's that going to do? Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Plug that in. Maybe if we do... What can we do to make this look sweet? If we have light rays make everything look good. Doesn't look... That looks so stupid. Oh yeah. Oh, light rays, we gotta make sure that it's alpha limits effect only. This looks so good. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see. Take a peek at what's to come tomorrow. Surprisingly tricky section here about the planar tracker. Surprising. But I'm glad taking the time to figure these things out, because these are like real fundamental techniques here. How to track things onto your footage. This is the planar tracker. And tomorrow is about using OpenFX, Resolve Effects, and Fuse plugins. Fusion's capabilities can be extended using different kinds of plugins. All compositions in Fusion Studio and the Fusion page of Davinci Resolve support third-party OpenFX plugins. Additionally, the Fusion page of Davinci Resolve provides access to all of the Resolve FX that come with Davinci Resolve. So tomorrow, it's going to be about some of the plugins. Probably going to take a look at, what was it? It was in here. If we go script, that's the one plugin that I've got. Let's see, Fusion, Timeline, Trim, Playback, where is it? Fusion, what is it called? Stake Underwater? That's the popular one. Take a look at that. I don't even know where to find it right now. Haven't taken a look yet. Fairlight Workspace, scripts, right? Reactor, that's what I'm looking for. Opening reactor. Open the reactor. So reactor, got quite a few here. These are all plugins through the Fuse API. I don't know. I don't think it's an API. It's Fuse. It's Fuse. I mean, we'll learn about that tomorrow, what that is. And we'll take a look at the ones that come with Resolve that are built in. And we'll learn about how to develop our own without using a computer development environment, by just going through Fusion's native Fuse plugins. Yeah, so we'll learn about Fuse. What? Only one page? Let's just do that now. We're gonna finish two chapters today. Really? It's only one page? Oh, okay. Sweet. Okay, let's do it. What are OpenFX? What are Resolve effects? And then applying OpenFX and Resolve effects plugins. Introduction to Fuse plugins. One page here. Sweet. So what are OpenFX? Fusion is able to use compatible OpenFX, OFX, plugins that are installed on your computer. OpenFX is an open standard for visual effects plugins. It allows plugins written to this standard to work on both Davinci Resolve and the standalone Fusion Studio, as well as other applications that support the standard. OFX plugins can be purchased and downloaded from third-party plugins such, oh, Red Giant works. I didn't even know that. I didn't know, I thought Red Giant only worked for After Effects and Premiere. There's also, oh, Revision Effects. I've heard of these. What are these for? They've got some cool ones, I believe. All OFX appear in the OpenFX category of the effects library alongside all other effects that are available in Fusion. So, but in here, that's where they'll show up. And then what are Resolve effects? Resolve effects, the Fusion page is Davinci Resolve. The Fusion page is Davinci Resolve. What? The Fusion page in Davinci Resolve, I guess, is also able to access Resolve effects. Resolve effects are filter effects within Davinci Resolve. Although most Resolve effects have the same capabilities on all Davinci Resolve pages, some are specific to the color page and require the use of the color page tracker for full functionality. All Resolve effects appear in the Fusion page effects library. Okay. Applying OpenFX and Resolve plugins. Resolve effects and OFX plugins are applied to the node editor just as you would apply native Fusion nodes. They can help you create fast, interesting looks and effects using the color page or imaginative transitions and effects on your clips on the edit page. Resolve effects are installed with Davinci Resolve. After installing a set of OFX plugins, you can access them or Resolve effects plugins in Fusion by opening the OpenFX category in the effects library. Yep, where they'll be. And then to add a plugin to the node editor, either click the OpenFX or Resolve effects plugin Okay, pretty straightforward stuff. Interdict. So here's the Fuse plugin, which is what we got here with Fusion. Oh, that's probably why it's called Fusion. Fuse. I get it. Fuses are plugins developed for Fusion using the Lua built-in scripting language. Yeah, I looked up Lua. What was that again? I'll look it up again. What is Lua language? Lua is a powerful, efficient, lightweight, embeddable scripting language. It's a relatively simple C API. I guess it's built on C, I guess. Not sure about that, don't quote me. But it's got built-in language. Being script-based, fuses are compiled on the fly in Fusion without the need of a computer programming environment. While a fuse may be slower than an identical OpenFX plugin created using Fusion's C++ SDK, a fuse will take advantage of Fusion's existing nodes and GPU acceleration. Interesting. Okay. So to install it, you can read through this. You can open and edit fuses by selecting the fuse node in the node editor and clicking the edit button at the top of the inspector. The fuse opens in the text editor specified in the global preferences scripting panel. And then tip, changes made to a fuse in a text editor do not immediately propagate to other instances of that fuse in the composition. Oh, okay. So it's its own kind of like standalone instance. Reopening a composition updates all fuses in the composition based on the current saved version. Alternatively, you can click the reload button in the inspector to update the selected node without closing and reopening. Okay. Sweet. All right. Nice. That was 2 chapters we kind of skimmed through. 2 small chapters. Planar Tracker was a doozy. But tomorrow is going to be 3D compositing basics. So this chapter covers many of the nodes used for creating 3D composites, the tasks they perform, and how they can be combined to produce effective 3D scenes. Ooh, that's exciting. That is exciting. So on an earlier episode, we kind of played around with some 3D. But this time, we're going to go in a little more depth. I think that was just, previously it was just messing around, trying to get it to work. But now we're going to read about it, hopefully make some cool things. This is a longer section, so this might take 2 days or 3. But we're coming up on 3D compositing basics, and then 3D camera tracking, which I'm interested in, and then particle systems, which everyone is interested in, and then optical flow. I think that's short. So really there's 3 more chapters here, I think. 3.5. Then we're going to be done with the fundamentals. We've got this. We've got tomorrow 3D basics, 3D camera tracking, particle systems. We are coming up on the end of the fundamentals. And then we're going to level up. We're going to turn into super edit VFX person. I mean, we still got some time. What am I going to do? I'm tempted to just continue on here. We've got 15 minutes. Might start this 3D basics. Yeah. Yeah, let's get right into it. do 15 more minutes of just intro to 3D compositing basics. So this chapter covers many of the nodes used for creating 3D composites, the tasks they perform, and how they can be combined to produce effective 3D scenes. An overview of 3D compositing. 3D compositing fundamentals, the elements of a 3D scene, software and GPU rendering, loading 3D nodes in the viewer, transparency sorting, material viewer, transformations, parenting, cameras, lighting and shadows, materials and textures, projection mapping, geometry, fog 3D and soft clipping, material and object IDs, world position pass, and point cloud. Oh boy, this is gonna be dense. An overview of 3D compositing. Traditional image-based compositing. This is like a bedtime story. Traditional image-based compositing is a two-dimensional process. Image layers have only the amount of depth needed to define one as foreground and another as background. This is at odds with the realities of production, since all images are either captured using a live-action camera with freedom in all three directions, in a shot that has real depth, or has been created in a true 3D modeling and rendering application. Within the Fusion Node Editor, you have a GPU accelerated 3D compositing environment that includes support for imported geometry, point clouds, particle systems, and particle systems for taking care of such things as converting 2D images into image planes in 3D space, creating rough primitive geometry, importing mesh geometry from FBX or Alembic scenes, creating realistic surfaces using illumination models and shader compositing, rendering with realistic depth of field, motion blur, and super sampling, creating and using 3D particle systems, creating, extruding, and beveling 3D text, lighting and casting shadows across geometry, 3D camera tracking, importing cameras, lights, and materials from applications such as Unreal Engine, importing matched cameras and point clouds from applications such as Synth Eyes and PF Track. Point clouds, I don't know what that stuff is. Point clouds. Oh, I think I know. I don't know. Whatever. We'll read about it. 3D compositing fundamentals. The 3D category of nodes, which includes the light, material, and texture subcategories, work together to create 3D scenes. Examples are nodes that generate geometry, import geometry, modify geometry, create lights and cameras, and combine all these elements into a scene. Nearly all these nodes are collected within the 3D category of nodes found in the effects library. Conveniently, at no point are you required to specify whether your overall composition is 2D or 3D, because you can seamlessly combine any number of 2D and 3D scenes together to create a single output. However, the nodes that create these scenes must be combined in specific ways for this to work properly, which is what we're going to learn how to do. Creating a minimal 3D scene. Creating a 3D scene couldn't be easier, but you need to connect the required nodes in the right way. At minimum, you need only connect a geometry node, such as a text 3D node, to a renderer 3D node to output a 2D image that can be combined with other 2D images in your composition, as seen below. Right. So if we want 3D text, we gotta add a 3D renderer node. So here, if we get a 3D text 3D, we need a renderer 3D, and then this is gonna work, isn't it? We gotta add a text 3D. Oh my OMG. And that is 3D. And we can transform it along the, which one? Nope. What? Pivot? What? What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to rotate, transform, rotate. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Actually, that still doesn't prove it's 3D, right? We gotta add some extrusion to it. Extrude. Yeah, there. Confirmed 3D. All right. And then more realistically, each 3D scene that you want to create will probably have 3 to 5 nodes to give you a better lit and framed result. These include one of the available geometry nodes, such as text 3D or image plane 3D. We got text in there. A light node, such as a directional light. So let's do that. We also need a camera node, so let's do a light. We got a light here, but how do we connect this? We just put it in here? Oh, it's a merge 3D? And a camera? Camera? Okay. What happened to our text? Where in the world did our text go? Huh? Okay. Okay, we got our text here. They're all going together into a merge, right? Isn't that how that works? Does it have to go into here? Okay. Now we're in 3D space. Oh. Oh, we're moving the whole merge. I want to move the camera back. Move it to here. Move it way back, I guess. Is there a rotate button? Can I rotate this easier? What's the, how do I, there's no like hotkey to do rotation? And then how do I view it? I have to right click, views, camera, camera 3D. There we go. So right now I'm piloting the camera. And then how do I hop out? How do I hop out of the camera? Well, let's move the, okay. So now I go back to views, views. I could go quad view. So the top view here. Let's get rid of this. Full screen this. Okay, so we're on the top view. Can move this light here, here. Rotate to here. We're gonna shine the light right on it, I guess, direct. And what happens? How do we get a little bit of depth? A little bit of color. How about let's change this to blue. Blue. Okay. And then we've got our light, don't we? What's going on with this light? This spotlight here is not really doing anything, is it? Oh. Let's go to our quad view. Quad view, Shift Q to get into quad view. I'm piloting the camera still? How do I get out of piloting the camera, right? Okay. I just want to get this light shining. This little light of mine. I want to get it shining. This little light. So spotlight controls cone. Let's make the cone bigger. Magnitude? Is there a magnitude for this thing? Intensity, right? What if we just put the intensity to 5? I am not seeing anything that makes me believe that light is working. If we go here, 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 move this closer. Is that here? Please. What do we need? Am I missing something? The camera, spotlight. Spotlight? I've got the spotlight. Mess around with these? Or if I try one more light. No, that's another spotlight, isn't it? See, we're getting fall off. Oh, that's right. You have to set it to accept shadows and accept light. It's in the settings here. So shading, right? I believe it's in shading. Use one material, transform, settings, shading, transform, layout. One of these here. Oh. It's one of these. I know it's like a setting thing. Pass through lights, right? Renderer. Turn it to hardware. Enable lighting. There we go. That's kind of whatever. We got it working. Not so intuitive, but anyways, let's see if let's do an angle, right? What am I supposed to do here? If I have this up and then the camera display over here, right? So then we got views, hop into our, we go to camera, hop into the camera view. Okay, and then we hop right back out. Not really helpful to be here, I think. We want to be perspective, right? Even here, we're in perspective, but we're controlling the camera. I think that's kind of the workflow, right? I think so. Yeah. Now we're getting it. Then I could set a keyframe here with the camera selected, transform. Oh, and there's also a lock on target. Use target. Use target. There we go. Oh, this is it. This is it. We set the target on our text. And now it's locked on. Yeah. Yep. Cool. Cool. And then we can kind of rotate the camera or like reposition the camera, right? Oh. Yeah, so we can kind of like center it. There we go. And so now, yes, we set keyframes, and then we go to frame 60, and we go over here. Isn't that right? Or I mean, we could go here, like do a thing, and that brings up the next question: is can we draw a polyline for it to follow, so it could arc? That might be for tomorrow. Okay, that's it. We don't have to do it. That's it. Sweet. 3D, OMG. That's tomorrow. We're gonna do some 3D stuff tomorrow. We got it working. We got it accepting lights. Let's look at the final render here. Hold on. Let's reposition that spotlight. Oh, somehow the spotlight. Okay, so move this back. That looks cool. I mean, it doesn't. It's not the best, but whatever. Yeah, sweet. We got 3D. 3D. Coming in quick tomorrow. We'll pick up here tomorrow and dive a little deeper into Davinci Resolve, Fusion, 3D, and the compositing basics. Cool. Gonna end here for today, though. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.